You know the feeling. We've all been there. That day after soreness that makes just walking down a flight of stairs feel like you're climbing Mount Everest. For years, we've been hammered with this idea that no pain, no gain is the only way forward, right? That you gotta constantly push, constantly grind. But what if I told you that the most important, the most game-changing part of your entire workout actually happens after you've walked out of the gym? Today, we are gonna push past all the motivational quotes and dive headfirst into the real science of muscle recovery. We're going to find out what is actually going on inside your body on those so-called rest days. We will break down the hard evidence to see which recovery methods are legit and which are just, well, expensive hype. So get ready, because we're about to completely change how you think about getting stronger. You see it everywhere in the fitness world, right? That no days off mantra. It's like a badge of honor. But this creates a huge question for anyone who's serious about their goals. Is a rest day a wasted day? Are you actually falling behind by taking time off? Well, let me tell you, the science on this is crystal clear. The answer is a huge, emphatic no. Actually, it's the total opposite. If you aren't planning your recovery with the same focus you plan your workouts, you're the one leaving results on the table. It's like flooring the gas pedal in your car, but never ever letting the engine cool down. Sooner or later, you're headed for a breakdown, not a breakthrough. Okay, I want you to really let this sink in, because this one idea, it's the foundation for literally everything else we're going to talk about. Think of it like this. Your workout is you placing an order with your body. You lift heavy, and you're basically telling your body, hey, I need to be strong enough to handle this. You go for a long run, you're saying, I need the endurance to go this far. That's the stimulus. But the delivery of that order, the actual muscle growth, the new strength, that only happens during recovery. Recovery isn't just sitting around. It's an active, incredibly complex process where your body goes, okay, order received. Now, I'm not just gonna repair this, I'm gonna build it back even stronger so I'm ready for next time. So let's just completely flip how we think about this. The gym isn't where you get stronger, it's where you break yourself down. I mean, every tough set, every single rep, you're creating these tiny, microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. It's controlled damage. The real work, the magic, happens later. That's recovery. That's the time when your body sends in the construction crew to patch up those little tears. But it doesn't just patch them, it reinforces them, making them thicker and stronger than before. Without that rebuilding phase, all you're doing is damage. You're just digging a hole deeper and deeper, and you never give your body the chance to fill it back in and build a mountain. You gotta love how precise the science is here. This definition comes from a 2019 review by Skorsky and his colleagues. Now notice, it's not just about feeling less sore. True recovery is about a renewed ability to meet or exceed previous performance. That one word, exceed, that's everything. It's talking about a core principle called supercompensation. Just imagine your fitness level as a straight line. A hard workout makes it dip down, that's fatigue. Recovery is what brings you back up to that line. But, and here's the key, if you do it right, your body doesn't just stop at the line. It supercompensates. It builds back to a new, higher level of fitness. That's the goal. That's how you actually get better. Okay, now here's where it gets really, really cool. Recovery isn't just one thing. Your body is this incredible collection of different systems, and you know what? Each one runs on its own clock. The energy system that lets you do a max effort sprint recovers on a totally different timeline than the actual muscle tissue you just shredded. And both of those are different from your central nervous system, the thing that's in charge of it all. So understanding that your body has all these different recovery clocks all ticking at different speeds, that is the secret sauce to building a truly smart recovery plan. Let's break down just how different these clocks are. Your immediate explosive energy system, the stuff that powers a 1-rep max lift, it can recharge itself in just a few minutes. That's why you can rest between sets and go again. But your nervous system, the command center, that can take several hours to get back to 100%. Then you've got your muscle fuel stores, glycogen. After a really tough workout, it can take a full 24 to 48 hours to totally restock those tanks. And finally, the actual repair of your muscle fibers, that can take days. This is exactly why you might feel mentally ready to go the next day, but your body is just screaming, no way. It's your mind writing checks your body just can't cash yet. So we get the why, we need to recover to get stronger. And we get the what, it's a bunch of different systems on different timelines. But how do we actually optimize it? What can we do to speed this whole process up? Well, to answer that, we have to get past the gym chatter and what some guy told you. We need to look at the cold, hard data. It's time to be like a pro coach, breaking down the game film of scientific research to see what strategies actually win. And our playbook for today is an absolute powerhouse. It's a massive review and meta-analysis that was published in a top-tier journal called Sports Medicine back in 2022. Now, this wasn't just some small study. These researchers, led by Emma Moore, did all the heavy lifting for us. They went out and gathered up the results from 28 different high-quality studies on recovery. And they pulled all that data together to give us this incredible, clear picture of what the science really says. This is the gold standard of evidence, folks. Just let that number sink in for a second. 28 separate studies, all combined into one giant analysis. And why is that such a big deal? Because it cuts through all the noise. See, a single study might get a weird result, but when you combine 28 of them, you start to see the real patterns, the things that happen over and over again. It means we can be way more confident that what they found is legit and that it'll actually work for you in the real world. And this right here, this is what all that work looks like. I know, this chart might seem a little intimidating at first, but don't worry about it. Just think of it as our ultimate cheat sheet. It basically summarizes the results of all these head-to-head battles between different recovery methods. We're going to walk right through it. It shows us what works best for things like soreness or getting your strength back. And we're about to use this data to settle some of the biggest arguments in the fitness world. All right, it is time for the main event. We're putting the most popular recovery methods in the ring for a head-to-head showdown, and the only judge is the hard data from that 2022 meta-analysis. We're talking ice baths versus active recovery, cryotherapy versus warm water. Which of these strategies actually holds up when you put it under the scientific microscope? Let's find out. First up, the battle for soreness champion. In this corner, we have the ice bath, or as scientists call it, cold water immersion, CWI. And in the other corner, the old school favorite, active recovery. You know, a light jog, a gentle bike ride, some stretching. When it comes to kicking that delayed onset muscle soreness or DOMS to the curb, the verdict is in, and it is decisive. Cold water immersion was way more effective at reducing that next day ache, especially in that critical first 48 hours. Now, active recovery is still good for getting the blood moving, but if your number one goal is to just feel less pain, the ice bath takes the win. And here's the visual proof. This is called a forest plot, and it's looking right at muscle soreness 24 hours after a workout. Don't get lost in all the lines. Just look at the overall results. See that black diamond at the top? It's way over to the right. That means, on average, cold water immersion was the clear winner against active recovery for soreness. And what's really powerful is that it wasn't just a fluke. You can see study after study found pretty much the same thing. The evidence is solid. So let's check out the final tail of the tape. Cold water immersion, or CWI, is the undisputed champ for crushing soreness. But, and this is super important, it might not be the best for everything. The data shows there might be a trade-off. By killing inflammation so effectively, CWI might also reduce some of the signals your body needs for long-term muscle growth. So it's a strategic tool. It's amazing for an athlete who has to compete again tomorrow, but maybe not something you do after every single workout. The surprise winner for getting your strength back fast, air cryotherapy, and good old active recovery, it's a great all-rounder for blood flow. The big takeaway here is that there's no single best method. It's about using the right tool for the right job. Okay, so we've seen what works, but what happens when we just ignore all of this? What are the real consequences of that no days off mindset when you take it too far? Well, this is the dark side of the grind. This is where your whole plan completely backfires, and all that hard work you're putting in at the gym leads not to progress, but to burnout, and a really frustrating trip backward. There's actually a scientific name for this state, non-functional overreaching. It sounds complicated, but the idea is painfully simple. It's what happens when you keep piling on stress faster than your body can adapt. It's like a fatigue debt that you just keep adding to without ever paying it off. And the result is predictable. Your performance doesn't just stall, it actually goes down. You can't lift as heavy, you can't run as fast, you feel tired all the time, and your risk of getting hurt goes through the roof. You are working harder than ever to get worse. This is how you slide right into burnout. And it all starts in a good place, right? Step one, you're training hard, you're recovering well, you're making gains. But then you start to push it. You skip a rest day here, you cut your sleep short there. That's step two, where the fatigue starts to creep in. You ignore it and just keep grinding, which leads to step three, your performance totally stalls. You're just running on fumes. And if you still don't listen, you slam right into step four, non-functional overreaching. Your performance is in a free fall, you feel awful, and you're one bad move away from an injury that could take you out for months. And the worst part about all of this, it's 100% preventable. Okay, enough with the doom and gloom. We've seen the science, we understand what's at stake. Now it's time to get practical. Let's put all this knowledge into an actual game plan. And this isn't about finding some magic bullet, it's about building a smart, personalized recovery plan that's based on real evidence and fits your specific goals. Here it is, your recovery starting lineup. Now, before you even think about ice baths or fancy gadgets, you have to nail the foundation. The absolute non-negotiables are sleep and nutrition. Getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, that is the single most powerful recovery tool on the entire planet, period. And fueling your body with enough protein and calories, that's the raw material for all this repair work. After you've got that locked down, then we can bring in our specialists. For really bad soreness after a big event, the evidence says CWI is your best friend. Need to perform again in just a few hours? Air cryotherapy might give you that quick power boost. And for your everyday cooldown, light active recovery is a fantastic, cheap way to get blood flowing. But the golden rule that trumps everything else? Listen to your body's performance data. Are your lifts going up? Are you feeling good? That objective feedback is your ultimate coach. So there you have it. We've gone through the science, we've laid out the strategy, we've seen that recovery isn't weakness, it's intelligence. It's the active, deliberate part of training that turns all your hard work into actual results. The evidence-based playbook is right here. The science is clear. So the only question left is, what's your next move? How are you going to use this information to not just train harder, but to finally start recovering smarter?